Hi guys, uh, hope you can hear me well. So it's another session, webinar session organized by 99X, and today we are going to talk about mobile UX design. And I'm Oshri Vattuheva, and I'm working as a UX designer for 99X. Okay, so without any further ado, let's move to our webinar. Okay. So first, let's start with a simple question. So why mobile? So there are a million reasons to choose mobile over web, but I think portability is the main reason why we are choosing mobile over web. Yeah. So when it comes to portability, people we are living in a busy world, and it's a growing world, and people can't just sit down on the desktop and do their stuffs every day. And people should use it anytime, anywhere they want. So that's why mobile comes first, and portability plays a main role in there. And can you just think about a mobile phone without your hand one day? Because you might use it for to listen to music, or you might need it to book for taxi, and you might use it for the map directions and fund transfer, many more actions. So all of these day-to-day routines are highly coupled with these mobile applications, and we are the people who design these mobile applications. And to do a success product, and we should design it in a very simple way, and in a good user, we should give a good user experience to the user. But design things in a simple manner is the complex things we experience, because it's not easy to do things, design things simple. So I have some tips and tricks. Hope I would like to share it in my webinar today, and hope these things will help you guys to do your designs in the future. So when it comes to mobile, so what is the main challenge you see in the mobile? Yeah, definitely it's a space, size, and the touch controls. Yeah. So when it comes to screen size, it affects all aspects of the design. I mean, especially the navigation. And so with a limited space, we should align our all mobile components. It's the challenge. So we have a limited space, not like in the desktop. Desktop, we have more space, and we can align components freely, but not in the mobile. We can't do that. We should properly manage our components, then only we can achieve our goal. So and when it comes to the touch controls, and instead of using a cursor to click, user have to tap their screen and gestures to interact with the mobile elements, interface elements. And you might heard that's not a big deal, but that's the actual one of the main thing that we need to consider. Because think of you are clicking a embedded link with a mouse. It's not a big deal. You can just click it and view it. But with a finger tap, it's a different story. Then we experience the fat finger problem as well. And if you're worried about what is fat finger problem, then we are touching screens in the mobile screens, and we are touching wrong keys. So that's what we call the fat finger problem. So since we talked more about the touch controls, let's focus on more about the thumb zone of the app as well. So if you take the mobile phone, and if you're left-hander and if you're right-hander, so your thumb positions will act differently. So if you're left-hander, So you can see in the first picture, in the green area, it's the area that you can leisurely, you can easily access the phone screen. But in the yellow screen, you have to stretch your finger and access those points. And the red part, it's hard to achieve areas. So in the third image, we describe the right hand person's behavior. So in the middle, we express the combine of these left hand and right hand people's behavior. So just keep these things in mind, because this is a huge thing. This is the main thing when we do the design. So we have to keep this thing in our mind, because in nowadays we are getting more larger screens, and it's really hard to achieve the screens using single thumb. Okay, so let's move to the next screen. So 49 of people really using one thumb to accomplish the things on their phone. So if you can see, and if you can remember the previous image, you can see this bottom part is the ideal place for the primary navigation, because even for the right-hander, left-hander, these areas can easily access. And these are the thumb zone also we can consider as, is it okay to go? But other areas, it's really hard to achieve. So just keep in mind, these things will need for you in the future points. Okay. So this is a simple interaction we have noticed in this search bar using, so the same thumb rules apply here. Okay, so we are talking about these thumb rules, and this is a perfect example for the thumb rules. So if you can see, we are moving from home to search, and then see the first image, we have the search bar at the top. But in the second image, we have the search bar just just before the keyboard. So it's more user friendly than the first one. So that's how the thumb works. So if we can consider these things when we do design, that will be really helpful to create more user friendly designs. So so our design is almost about the list of components. So let's see. So my objective is to give more idea about mobile components and how you can efficiently use it in your mobile app. Then but I can't go through all components. So here I choose the mobile navigation and search boxes and mobile forms and mobile errors and alerts. So today I will focus on these components and how we can see how we can use these things efficiently in our designs. Okay, so we'll move to the navigation first. So basically, what is navigation? Navigation is the way user will get from point A to point B. Simply, it's a roadmap of your app. So the clear navigation is a must to enjoy your product. So once someone starts using your app, they need to know where to go and where they are at any point. So to get there at any point. So if it's good, so you have a clear navigation in your system. And if you think getting A to B in less amount of time, that would be a mistake, because your navigation isn't about getting there quickly. It's about getting there very logical and easy. So then user can remember if it's there, if it's there a good logic, and if it's easy, then it's automatically reach user in a quick way there. So just keep in your mind. So please have a goal and have a good path when you design these navigation. Okay, so when it comes to navigation, there are many options: hamburger menus, tab bars, stop tab bars, floating buttons, etc. So I will go through some of them in detail. Let's talk about the hamburger menu first. I think all of you are very familiar with this hamburger menu, because each and every app, not each and every app, but most of the apps use this hamburger menu. So if you have a large number of navigation options, you can use this hamburger menu. But it's less discoverable. It's hide under this hamburger icon. So if you have too much navigation options, and so you can use this as a secondary navigation option, because uh, this pattern might not appropriate a solution for a primary navigation, because we can't see where we were, where and where we are right now. So it's hiding option behind hamburger menu, and but we can use it to clear. We can use it to make a more clear UI, because we don't confuse user with many more options, because we are hiding them under hamburger menu, and if user wants, they can just achieve it there. So so these are the pros and cons you can see in the hamburger menu. And when it comes to hamburger menu positions, we can mostly see it in the left hand side, and also we can see it in the right hand side as well. There's no rule you should keep hamburger menu at the left hand side, because all these points we figure out after doing some testing, A/B testing. If your user more interact with hamburger menu when it's on the right hand side, just go for it, because there's no rule to handle these things. It's all about the user behavior. And so we did a simple change here. We moved hamburger menu from the top to bottom tab bar, and it increased the user engagement, because this is the best section to achieve a user can access easily. So if we move from the top to bottom, user engagement is increased, and it's a good option. So it's not a must, but you can still use it. Okay, let's talk about the tab bars as well. So when it comes to iOS, Android, there are some UI guidelines and usability things. So we can see this tab bar in iOS mostly in the bottom, and the Android mostly in the top. But now we can see some apps creating using both top and bottom nav bar at once. That's also fine. It's depend on your requirements, and it depends on your design guidelines. And because Android have it's in the top, because Android's control bar at the bottom, so they don't confuse user with the bottom tab bar and the control bar, so they have moved it to the top. But in the iOS, they have it in the bottom, most apps. So we said hamburger menu is ideal for the secondary navigation bar, because we can't see where we are, and that visibility is hidden. So the top tab bar is a good alternative for this hamburger menu. But if it's too many icons, we can't still handle it in the top tab bar also, because we have to scroll and see the things. If it's too many options, then you can still have hamburger menu, but this is also another options you can take it for navigation, and it's discoverable and clearly communicate the current location as well. Okay, so this is the one of the main navigation component we are mostly using, because when it comes to thumbs on, this is the high accessible point in the screen. So as you all can see, it's fair, easy to communicate, because it's clearly show where we are, and it's clearly show what our current location, and the clean design, and it's a single click, so you can just access it using single click. And the but here also we have to consider more points, the thumbs on, etc., because here also we can't have more options. We can just have limited options. Otherwise, this top menu bar look really cluttered. So what are the things we need to consider when the tab bar, if you're using the tab bar? If you take tab bar icon usability, and if you're planning to use icons only for your tab bar, just try it with the 5-second rule. 5-second rule means if you can come up with a proper icon for a particular label within 5 seconds, then yeah, it's a still you can proceed with the icon only. But if you cannot come out with a good proper icon within 5 seconds, then it doesn't communicate well. You have to show the icon with the correct label. So as a practice, better to use these icons with a label, and these labels should not be so lengthy. And if you're using this icon, and use proper label names and highlight them the current selected tab. So selected tab should highlight it and write short labels, and do not use caps, all caps for labels, because it's not readable at all. And this order of the navigation, it also can depends on your logics. And if you can remember the thumbs on thing, so this if you can see this GIF roles, this is the key point that even the left-hander or the right-hander easily can access this middle point. If you can remember the old iPhones, we have home button at the middle. So even in the right-hander or left-hander, that doesn't matter, they can easily access. So we can use the primary action at the center. So it's more usable for any kind of user. And so you can see if it's only icons, it's a bit confusing for users. So use icons with labels. And if you can see the image at the bottom with that black background, can you imagine the purpose of having this icon? You can't, right? Because we have no clue about that icon. So better to use icons with labels. It won't confuse user anyway. And you don't use these lengthy text labels. It's not nice, and it will ruin your design as well. And when it's come to tab icon colors, in the first image you can see there are the recent icon is in blue, and nearby icon is in red, and the favorites in green. But that doesn't mean anything. These colors, some colors has different meaning, but here it doesn't mean anything, right? So if you want to have a clear design, a clean UI, so go with a simple color theme. So use your primary color as the selected color, and keep other things in a light color. So highlight selected tabs correctly. So we have talked about this more in the previous one as well. And then come to the touch targets. So if we are fill the bottom toolbar icon with more icons, if we fill it more than 5 icons, it's be so hard to touch it. So then again, we are facing the fat finger problem. So even the so if user comfortably touched it, use 10 by 10 millimeter touch targets even for that. And don't use and avoid using touch targets are less than 7 by 7 millimeters, because it's really hard to focus on those icons then. So have a proper idea about that, and actual target size and the padding sizes. So basically have a 10 by 10 millimeter touch area if you are using the bottom navigation. So it will easy for user to use when they use the app. And I already told you, because this is not a option for if you have too many icons. because if you have too many icons, you have to choose whether to scroll it like this way, or it will look so cluttered. So the one option is having this scroll bottom tab bars, or else you can introduce this more hamburger, like think more icons. So if you click more, then user can see other items as well. They don't need to scroll items. Imagine you have 7 items and we can clearly show only 5 items at the bottom toolbar. So you can just use this more button and put that 2 items inside this more button. So you can focus on the priority and keep these items here. So better if you can avoid these scrolling items. If it's no solution, then you can go with it, but better if you can avoid these scrolling things. Okay, so we talk about the tab bar option, and then another important thing is the floating buttons. So we can see floating button in many applications, but personally I don't like it, but it's a good option because if someone prominently want to highlight its primary action prominently, then we can use this floating icons, but it's disturb the main screen, and also this floating icon strongly associate with positive actions. So don't use destructive actions like delete, etc. So use positive actions like add, create, add favorite, and navigation, search, something like these. So but this will block your content. So you can still go with this. So it's a good option, but still you can't have it more options like if you have navigations of options like 10 to 12, still you can't use this floating button because it will look so cluttered. So yeah. And the one thing is, if you're using the icon here, please use it's a clear icon, because you can't use labels here. So if you use confusing icon, you have no idea what's going to happen using this floating button. So you can use it, still you can use it to highlight your primary actions. And the full screen navigation, I think you have experience. We can see this pattern in the more mobile applications. So this full screen application is to handle deep hierarchy content. So if you can, if we see the next screen, so the full screen, it's achieving simplicity, and you can just target on a one particular action menu item at once. So then you can introduce any other items inside the that particular menu items that you have selected. But this whole screen is then dedicated for the navigation only, but still it's a clear UI. So you can do things chunk by chunk. So you can focus on a one particular session at once. So if you have this kind of actions in your requirements in your mobile design, so you can use this full screen navigation. So if you click restaurant, and you can go further and do add other components that related to the restaurant. So likewise, this is I normally use this way because it's really clear to user and can achieve more things using this. Gestures. So gestures played a main role in current mobile applications, but it's really hard to add gestures for all application. I mean, not technically, but for the crowd, based on the crowd, you should choose you are going to use the gestures or not. But we have to start from somewhere. So you can start gestures in a simple way, like swipe up. So you can use it like to delete, clean, like you can introduce these small gestures as a start, and then you can go ahead with more gestures, because if we can use gestures in the application, we can design more clear applications, because our space will we have more space for other components. We can hide these actions under gestures, but it's not easy to convert customers to gestures, because they're not like to accept it at once. So step by step, go for it. Handle simple gestures first, and then give them a small demo and easy thing, so they will get used to that. Okay, so if we're talking about the mobile sub navigation, you can see these kind of things in the web application. And if your customer asks, okay, I want this in my mobile application as well, I know it's really cluttered and it's a challenging to show these all icons in the mobile as well, but it's a customer requirement, you have to deal with it. So how are you going to show it? So the accordions, I think if you're not familiar with accordions, so here we can show all main products. So if we take these product solutions, digital transformation services, these we can consider as main products. So under products, you can, when you click under product, when you click USA, you can see the items under USA. So if, when you click Canada, these USA items will collapse, and these Canada items will be displayed. So you can use these accordions for this kind of transformation to web to mobile. It's a really good option using accordions in the mobile application. And the one thing is the section menus. So if you can see the BBC, they have news and sports. If you can see focus on the desktop bar menu, so they have home, news, sports. So they handle things separately. So if you have more navigation options, you also can use the same method. So under news, they are handling things related to news. So under sports, they are handling things related to sports. So it's clear. So we can use these kind of section menus as well. And the category landing. So if you have more than 15, you have more options, you can just direct him to another page and display all the options there. So this calls the category landing pages. So the conclusion here is that if you have less than 6 subcategories, and use submenus, accordions. And if you have between 6 and 15 subcategories, and go for the section menus. And if you have more than 15 subcategories, then go to the category landing pages. So this is what we got from here. Okay, so here we came to the search. So search plays a main role in the mobile application as well. So if the search is the center of interaction in your product, then show it in a very prominent way. Don't hide it. Imagine that you are online, if your product is selling if your product selling items, online items, so your customer always need to search it. So it plays a major role in your mobile application. So show it in a prominent way, don't hide it. And you can see some search in the secondary bottom navigation bar as well. So if you can see Spotify, iTunes, you can see this search bar. So here search is not a main action, but still user can do search without any blocker. And also you can see the contextual search icon as well. We don't pay much attention to search, but still it's there at somewhere with the other icons. And also, if we take into the search results, if we can, when we type half of our text, and if we can suggest more things, that is increase our usability. So if we can show recent searches and suggest categories, suggest new queries, so that will be really helpful for the user. So if, so that's the main thing in the search screen. Okay. So we'll move forward to the mobile forms quickly. And yeah, so every day we use essential online activities. So if you recall, you're booking a hotel room, and if you purchase online items, most probably you are ending up with filling a mobile form. So if it's too length and if it's complicated to check out progress, then people will quit. So they don't complete them. They will start filling it, and they will fed up and they will quit. So so many designers are familiar with this less is more concept, but still they are asking two additional information when they're trying to create, when they try to grab the information from users. It might be tempting to collecting data when they initially sign up, but please resist that temptation, because think in this way, with every additional field you add to your form, you increase the chance of losing a particular prospective user. So is this information you gain from this field worth losing a user? So if you try to add some field, just think, do we really need to add this option in there? Because if it's add more and more fields, forms get too lengthy and it's not user friendly at all. So there are small tips for these interactions. So size, if it's a, so size fields accordingly. So if it's just a 7-digit or something, we don't need to display its overall the screen. So we can just keep it like this way. So this will act as a visual constraints, because user know, okay, they don't expect lengthy text here. This is something short text, so they know they don't do any wrong here. So if you can use these kind of things in your design, that will be really good. And offer field focus, so then you know from where to start. So these are simple tips. And provide show password option. So you might experience this. Most of the application we saw confirm add password and confirm password. It's another field. So why you introduce another field? So we can just have a checkbox for show password. It's a simple thing. So you can just use these simple tips. And providing matching keyword. And if you are trying to add your phone number, and if you are getting keywords with letters, that won't work, right? And then you have to again switch to the number pad and just type your phone number. And rather than that, if user click on a phone number, if we can display the phone number keyboard, then it will increase the user experience. And use touch controls rather than having drop downs. You can use touch controls in your forms. It will helpful for the user. And it's GDPR thing. It's a good, it's a burning topic, I think. So if you're asking sensitive data, tell them why you're asking. Just a simple tip, because then they feel more secure about your system. So you can add these items as well. And also, if you notice these things when you try to use PickMe or Uber Eats, when you try to type the address, you will get suggestions based on your location. So we can use these things in our mobile application as well. When they try to write down the street address, we can give suggestions based on the locations. And the Touch ID and the Face IDs, these are the most famous things nowadays. So rather than type in things and log into the system, you can just use this biometric authorization. So it's increased the accessibility of the systems as well. Okay, clear the noise. So imagine that you are buying something, you do online purchase, and here you are came to the checkout process, and still you have the hamburger menu, you can see the cart, you can see the search, you have still you have many open navigations, still you can use hamburger search and all, but do we really need it there? Because now we are at the checkout process and we just need to buy it and complete our process. So we can just clear out these unwanted items and we can have this kind of clear UI. And in any case, if user want to go back, they can use this. We can provide just a link. Okay, go back. And if you want to just go back. But we provide a clear UI. So the call to action, the proceed button is clear. So user have no disturbance. So they can proceed with their actions. Okay, and the errors and alerts. So we'll go through this quickly. So prevention is better than cure. So everyone is know about that. So if you go to the booking.com, if you try to check the availability, you can't check the availability for past days. So it will display calendar from today onwards. So you can't the previous days you can see it's in disable mode. It's see light gray, so you can't click on those things. So before user doing some wrong actions, we prevent it. So we don't allow them to add previous dates by default. So it's a good option because we also can implement this thing anywhere in our solution. So I think it's a good option. So prevention is better than cure always. So when it comes to validations, if we can tell them what's went wrong, at the same time they enter the inputs, it will be really, really user friendly, because the real-time validation are more important and it will save their time as well. Okay, in the mobile, I have experienced this. Okay, you typed everything and you say, sign up, or okay, you said proceed, or you can say checkout. Then you will get a pop-up. Okay, there's an error, blah, blah, blah. So try again, you have error like this. So there wait until I type all these things and click OK. So I have to go back and check where did I this mistake. So it's a very wrong method. So if you can give this inline validation again, so that will be a good option. And it's follow this rule of thumb, because always put the message, the context of action. And use colors, because it help our brain. Yeah, there are, if you're a color blind, there are some accessibility issues, but still we can think about the majority and you can use it. Adding red to error message, yellow to warnings, and green to success. You can these colors to make more user friendly. And tell them what went wrong, the clear message. So if you, then he tried to access using the same email, so he's worried about, is it a typo, why it's wrong. So if we provide a general message there, he never can identify what's wrong there. But if you can, rather than it, if you can provide a good message saying, so this is what happened, so you have to deal with this, then he can clearly figure out what went wrong. Okay, and speak same language as the user, because they are not tech savvy people, so they don't know the technical jargon. So if you said it's a network error 500, they have no idea about that. So just, you cannot connect to the network. Please check your network connectivity. You can call this simple language. You can speak this simple language. And use a little sense of humor, because people do mistakes. So you can not make a fun of it, but you can add bit of humor of it, so it's never hurts. We can see these vectors in today mobile application, because people like to see these things. So this is just an additional thing. You can use these tips as well. So, okay. So we have talked about the error messages, forms, and all. So how to proceed further? You have some kind of idea about the thumbs ons, and the size of the components, and you have all these knowledge now with you. So before you design something, gather with a colleague and do a design sprint. Design sprint mean you all of them can work on the same design, but you guys have a different experience, and try to see what other people think. If you want to know on the design sprint, you can learn about more things about that, but I don't have time to completely describe the design sprint. But you can perform a design sprint and talk about these things, where we went wrong, what we can improve in this. And sometimes the UX, rather than UX person, developer can come up with a good ideas. So do a design sprint and discuss all these things, and keep these things in your mind and do the design. And the testing, so do A/B testing, do prototype and do testing, give it to the users. Even they don't have any idea about your product, just give it to them and see how they interact with your system. And as I say, you can use Hamburger menu anywhere you want, so it's your choice. And use heat maps. It will easy to track your user. So do testing. This is the best thing you can achieve to identify the user behavior. And yeah, so that is about my presentation. And yeah, so the mobile UX design so practice those practices, and hope you have some idea about, and you got even so you can use it for the design when you do design next time. So that's about it, guys. Any questions? Okay, guys. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the comment section, so we can answer them in later also. And also, if you want, if you're interested about more webinars like this, you can subscribe to our channel as well, 99X channel as well. So guys, thank you so much for joining today. So we'll meet you in another webinar then. Thank you, guys.